Well, we are at the last episode of Alienated in an Ancient Land. How was the story so far? Were you able to follow it? If not, what needs improvement? Use the comment section to give your reviews. So let's read the last episode, Descendants of Vishwakarma, the Ancient Architect. Mitresh and Lohitaksh were trying to collect more proof that alien life form coexist on Earth. Mitresh was now desperate to get Tanya to tell the truth about their race, but was also afraid of the consequences. We should probably contact someone from SETI before the matter goes out of hands, mumbled Lohitaksh. But what will you send them? There is no visual proof like UFO sightings or photographs of alien aura or real form of the aliens. They wouldn't believe us, mused Mitresh. What are we to do now? Asked Lohitaksh. Suddenly, Mitresh rolled his eyes up and stared at the night sky. When he spoke, it did not sound like his voice at all. It was mechanical and controlled. I know we must leave them alone. They aren't the aliens we are looking for. The actual aliens are hiding in the West. Lohitaksh was scrolling on the laptop and didn't notice the change in Mitresh's voice. But you saw the two comets vanishing in this very place, not somewhere in the west, he protested, and turned around to argue with Mitresh. Finding him shivering badly, Lohitaksh ran to bring warm clothing. On returning, he found Mitresh had passed out on the couch. Covering him with a warm blanket, Lohitaksh let him sleep on the couch. It was the first time Mitresh had a strange episode of fits. Otherwise, it was always Lohitaksh going into a frenzy with panic attacks. Lohitaksh's heart began racing, thinking about his panic attacks. He poured himself a drink to calm down. After a few rounds, he fell on the floor and began snoring. Shamit and Tanya had promised themselves to look for an architect tonight. Since his visit to headquarters, Shamit's ability to astral travel had improved drastically. He had tackled all the doubts of the amateur astronomers and was now searching for a person who was awake, thinking of constructing a structure. After a long search, Tanya and Shamit found a sculptor trying to merge two different metals to shape an idol. They began observing his thoughts closely. Strangely, Tanya and Shamit knew what had to be done and also identified the error committed by the sculptor. They began sending him brainwave communication to correct the same. After returning, Tanya and Shamit did not feel tired of the ordeal. They began feeling content and grounded, as if some connection that was missing had been re-established. Shamit began researching strange structures that were famed to be built by the aliens and observed it was the work of their ancestors. Even though they had never used any gadgets, they suddenly found themselves proficient in laser rock cutting technology. Strange, isn't it? We did not know any of it. Yet, there is some part of us that knows everything, said Shamit, addressing Tanya. True, I could access the records of the past and saw our ancestors building all the structures, said the surprised looking Tanya. Maybe that's what the Grandmaster meant when he said you will soon find your destiny, elaborated Shamit. Maybe, shrugged Tanya. But yes, I am now in control of my emotions, which is a great solace. Yes, and the astronomers also quit their research and went back disappointed, added Shamit. About the astronomers, what did you do with the data they had recorded? He had our astral journey on the film, probed Tanya. I made Mitresh delete all of them and forget all about it. Oh, that's bad, said Tanya. It isn't. We are only protecting ourselves, explained Shamit. At the restaurant, the staff had gathered again on Rekha's request. What is it? I have to finish washing the heap of utensils in the sink. Tell me fast while I eat. Saying so, Triptesh began stuffing and munching food like an animal. Have you people observed that Tanya madam and Shamit sir have changed completely? Asked Rekha. Hmm, mumbled Triptesh with his mouth full of food. I think it is good for us, replied Saraswati. I'm happy we aren't anxious all the time now. Yes, that's what I meant, added Triptesh and stuffed a large mouthful of roti. But it may be an indication of something worse, added Rekha thoughtfully. Don't worry, sister. Half the time, our assumptions are always false. If you truly care about their identity, you should have a direct talk with them. If not, as long as they don't cause us harm, I'm good, concluded Triptesh, getting up to wash his hands. I think all of you are misjudging them, replied Saraswati. Initially, I was skeptical, but the other day I found the two visiting the orphanage near my house. Also, I happened to hear Shamit sir's interview on radio some time ago. He isn't as bad as you think him to be. Both help others. I think they had gone to donate money to the orphanage. Surely it is Kali Yuga. For helping others in secret attracts the wrong kind of attention, finished Saraswati. Oh, I didn't know that, said Rekha, ashamed of herself. That fits into in the current times where people film their smallest good deed. It is alarming to know that they are helping in secret, began Rekha. Well, enough of the talk. Let's get back to work. Shamit sir and Tanya madam are simply strange. We are good here, concluded Triptesh. Everybody nodded in agreement and went to work. When Mitresh woke up from the sleep, his head felt heavy. He checked the time and was stunned to know he had slept for 2 days straight. Looking around for Lohitaksh, he found him curled up on the floor. Get up, buddy. I think we have wasted enough time on this false alarm of spotting an alien. We should go back to studying the farther side of the moon. I vaguely remember seeing activity there when the twin comet budged in, complained Mitresh. I'm still clueless about what the twin comet was. I had never seen or heard of it, said Mitresh. Don't be so harsh on yourself. It's okay. Let it go, consoled Lohitaksh and continued. We should book our flight and reach the university quickly. Professor had messaged me 2 days ago, added Lohitaksh. Why didn't you tell me? I would have abandoned this project that very instant, replied Mitresh, feeling dejected. Don't worry, it isn't to reprimand or anything. He just wanted to know our progress. Let's go back, said Lohitaksh, while booking return tickets. And that, my dear friends, concludes our tale of alienated in an ancient land. Do you think our earth is an ancient land? Express your views about the video in the comments. Beginning next week, I will read a short story in 2 episodes on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow, I won't be reading a tiny tale. Take care then. See you all next week with a new episode of another short story.